Are you feeling worried, anxious, and fear when it comes to money? This is what we call financial stress or financial anxiety. And over time, it will impact on our overall well being, including your physical and also mental wellness, including your money decision making as well. Do you know how to improve that? Join me and Kelly today to learn 4 ways to improve your money wellness.
Welcome to the Money DNA channel. Money DNA is a financial fitness community where we bring everything about money and beyond money concepts in life to help you create healthy money habits and to be financially fit for good. It is important to understand that the advice is general in nature and does not take into account your personal objectives, financial needs, and overall well-being situation, and it may not be appropriate for you.
Hi everyone, it's Winnie here. Thank you for tuning into Money DNA. We'll be looking at 4 ways to improve your money well-being today. Join me is Kelly Hope at The Hope Approach. Kelly is the founder of The Hope Approach. She combines astrology, energy, and counseling and her own experience together to help her clients to heal, strengthen, and develop a deeper love and also appreciation of themselves. Kelly, welcome to Money DNA again.
Thanks, Winnie.
Yeah, I have to say that every time when I read about your bio, I always feel like I'm so intrigued by the combination of astrology and energy and counseling. So can you please just share with us a little bit about what you actually do?
Yeah, sure. Look, I really do. I combine all of those things. So if you talk about astrology and actually moonology as well, following the moon and all the things happening in the sky, influencing us on the planet and where our energy goes, our attention flows. So with my work, I use what's happening in the skies, good and bad, to influence how we feel on the ground and try and using that energy to be positive instead of negative, because negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. And then I have my counselling in between so we can unpack any of those negative things and then be able to turn them into positive.
Awesome. I love the summary of that. And I think that no one is going to say no to bring all the positive together rather than, have to deal with the negativities. I have to say that personally, I'm not a huge fan of negativities. I can't really stand people who are being too negative about things. I do believe that we all have choice in life. So you can also choose to stick with all the negativities around you, or you can also face the reality and then find a solution for it.
Most definitely. And astrology will actually, provide those timings where, when the planets are going backwards, there probably are going to be more negative effects. But in that, we can still see the positive and figure out how that is. For example, when Mercury goes backwards, so it goes retrograde, which it does that 3 to 4 times a year, it's anything that starts with RE, rest, review, research, reconnect. If we ignore those signs, we will get overtired, we'll get run down, we'll get negative. But if we look at those signs and go, okay, those 3 times of the year is when I need to do anything with RE and slow it down a little bit, then our negativity levels are also lower. That vibrational level of negativity is reduced. So even those times where sometimes, because we all have bad moments, even those are reduced. Even our reactions to those behaviors are reduced.
I love that. So I know that at the moment, our series is all about financial stress and financial anxieties and also how we're going to improve that. But we definitely is going to talk about the energy, astrology, and money for the next series.
Money.
Money. Yes, we all love money.
Because Venus is the beautiful lady that comes out of the ocean with the little money bag, doesn't she?
Yes.
Right. So she comes out of the ocean and she's got the money. So she owns beautiful things and she dominates money.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you've got Venus, for example, opposing with Jupiter, which is a planet of surprises, we can sometimes get negative money surprises, i.e. maybe a tax bill, or we can get positive surprises like we win the lotto, but then that comes with its own negativity. So it all is balanced. And once you learn how to read it, it's very easy.
Oh, you really got me really excited about this. All right, so
financial abundance.
Yes,
amazing.
Definitely. That's what we all want. Now, Financial abundance is definitely going to be one of the things we're going to talk about, but I actually wanted to go back to what we discussed last time, because I think that in order for us to become a financial abundance, a lot of times we actually need to focus on the financial emotions, especially last time we talked about financial anxiety. So once we're going to be able to heal ourselves and also improve our financial anxiety level, it definitely is going to bring our energy up, and at the same time also is going to bring up or open up the possibilities to other things more positive to us. So last time I explained about the difference between the stress and anxiety. You mentioned that stress sometimes will happen in our life. It could be a good stress or a bad stress. And then sometimes the stress is good because it's actually going to bring us and help us to move forward. But of course, it could be also a little bit too much sometimes. But on the other hand, we also mentioned about anxiety. You mentioned that anxiety becomes a condition that you are constantly feeling fear or anxious or worried or unease with things. And when it comes to money, of course, it becomes a financial anxiety. And that actually is going to impact on our mental and also physical level of our well-being, and also impact our decision making for money. So I guess that what we are going to do today is I wanted to invite you to share with us some of the tips about how to improve these conditions.
Yes, yeah, we did. That was well done of recapping that, Winnie. Yeah,
Thank you.
Stress, we can have that. You know, we have stressful moments of our life, but anxiety is that prolonged, no end in sight worry, especially about the future, things that haven't even happened yet and probably won't happen. But we have those conversations in our head over and over again.
Yep.
So things to do. My number one tip, because I'm going to give you 4 tips today. My number one tip is sleep.
Okay. I loved the sound of that. Actually, I was having a recording earlier today with another lady, and then she was just saying that she didn't really sleep well last night because she decided to bring her work thoughts to bed around 9 o'clock, and then she woke up around midnight, and then all of a sudden she just thought that, what am I doing? All she can think of is work. And I just said, I believe that at the moment you must feel very fatigued and couldn't even think about anything. So thank you for bringing sleep into the very first thing.
Sleep is so important. Our brains are in fight or flight if we don't get enough sleep. And what that means is all the chemicals in our brains aren't balanced. So the blood rushes from our brains and just pumps through our body to keep us going, which means we cannot make really good decisions. And the first poor decision will be about money, because we think about maybe we'll get takeaway that day, or maybe we will buy something that we shouldn't buy because we want to make ourselves feel better, or we actually do something and pay a bill twice that you can't get the money back and you needed that money for that month, or whatever it is, because we're not actually concentrating, because we physically can't concentrate when we're tired. Fatigued drivers, for example, are worse than drunk drivers. People that are high alcohol limit are better drivers than people that have got less than 6 hours sleep.
Right. So are you saying that we need to focus on 6 hours of sleep?
Look, everybody is a little bit different, but I would say my personal opinion on that is if you're not getting around 6 hours of sleep, that's the first thing we need to work on. How do we get you some more sleep?
I have to say that personal experience, if I don't really have a good night's sleep, and then I will feel like the following day, I couldn't even concentrate on things. I feel like it's just so hard for me to do a lot of tasks. And then the best way for me to do is just find the easy way. Sometimes the easy way is just spending money to buy or get the Uber takeaway or whatever that might be. And so for me, yes, I agree with you. Sleep definitely is going to be my priority of everything. So what's next then?
Well, how do we get more sleep is actually part of my number 2. So number 2 is mindfulness and meditation. There are so many sleep apps out there to help you meditate when you go to sleep. And what all my clients say to me is that, Kelly, guess what? I put them on and I don't even listen to them, or they're annoying. I'm like, great, the annoying the better, because that will make your frontal cortex turn off and go to sleep.
Right.
If you're feeling like your brain is still moving, a muscle relaxation, which I'm actually going to give to you, Winnie.
Thank you so much for that.
A muscle relaxation where you actually have to do something. Open your hands, close your hands, move your feet while you're laying in bed is the best way to stop that frontal cortex from talking to you all night long.
That is such a simple tip.
I know, right? So mindfulness and meditation are two different things. The meditation's great. You can put it on, and if you go to sleep, that is great. Your subconscious brain will still work on whatever it is that your meditation is telling you to do. Go to sleep.
Right. I know that there are so many meditations out there. It could be a meditation for affirmation, meditation for the manifestation, meditation for I don't know, relaxations or healing, all sort of different things. So is there any particular things that we need to do at this point in time?
Yeah, I think for your sleeping one, you need a muscle relaxation. It's actually called muscle relaxation meditation, or a chakra cleaning or cleansing, something that just goes on for a little while. That's not to making you awake. It's not at the end. It's going to say, now wake up and have a great day. That's not a great one for sleep.
Right. Also, one of the things I wanted to ask you is earlier you mentioned about mindfulness. We've been hearing this term so many times. Can you just quickly explain to us what is mindfulness?
Well, this is a good one for during the day. So mindfulness is so beautiful when we might be having some of that financial anxiety, when we might be stressing over something, we've touched on this before, but especially when we're thinking about money, having a bit of mindfulness and thinking and actually stopping to do some breathing or doing a money meditation or actually doing a gratitude meditation, they're all mindful things. But a really, really easy one is to pick a spot in the room and just look at it for 30 seconds.
Right. So what you're saying is actually being mindful of the things around you and spending time and also the energy looking at certain things so that you are going to distract yourself from the worries. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, you can either distract yourself or actually your worries just sort themselves out and you can move on with your day.
Lovely. I like the sound of it. Yeah. And what's next?
Let's do breathing.
Okay.
I'll do that one next. So breathing is my number 3 tip. Now, Winnie, would you like to do some breathing?
Yes, please.
Okay, before we breathe, I just want you to think about and just explain how you're feeling right now.
I'm standing right now for the recording, but at the same time, I'm feeling pretty good. Very relaxing.
Let's just shake a little bit. Do a little tiny shake, a little shake. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. I'm going to breathe out for 4 seconds. And even if you're driving, just don't close your eyes if you're driving, but you can still do this. Try and do it through your nose and none through your mouth. But if you need to, you exhale through your mouth. And we're going to do it for 3 times.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
We're going to breathe in now. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. We're going to hold. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. How are you feeling?
Great. I actually feel like before the breathing, today particularly I'm feeling pretty relaxed, but then now I can feel like I'm more concentrated. It's probably because through the breathing, I bring the oxygen back to my head again, and then it actually helped me to concentrate, and my eyesight is actually clear. I'm not saying that it's going to be a miracle or anything, but at the same time I feel like it's just definitely make me feel sharper, that's for sure.
Better is my always word. Don't you want to be better than last second? Don't you want to be better than last minute? Don't you want to be better than last year?
So I guess that to sum up with the breathing is if you want to be better, Just do the 4-4-4 breathing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So that will be the third tip. What about the fourth?
Wow, the fourth tip is going to be self-care. We hear this all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, my self-care. Do you know what? And we're sort of talking about this before, and I have this little story about self-care. And, self-care I used to think was, oh my God, I have to go and get a massage, or I have to go and do something for self-care, go and run a bath. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. That breathing technique that we just said, that's a self-care technique. I'm happy with that. Tick it off. That's your self-care that you do every day. A second self-care tip is make your bed.
Oh, I do that every single day.
Yeah,
it is really
get up and make your
important
bed. Because if you get up and make your bed, you have accomplished something today.
Ah, I love the sound of
And
it.
I know. So even if you just make your bed, you've accomplished something, and your subconscious will be like, right, we're on the right track. And then the third thing for self-care that we're sort of talking about before is, when people don't have time for self-care, we don't do self-care, and self-care could be anything. It could be writing in your journal, it could be listening to a book, it can be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
It can be saving $5. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole hour-long candle bath thing that nobody has time for when you're busy mums, especially.
Yep.
So we talked about, when you go on an aeroplane, which we haven't been on an aeroplane for so long, but when you're on an aeroplane, the safety instruction is, when the masks come down, put it on yourself first before helping others. And a lot of my clients would say, no, I always help my kids first. I wouldn't do that. Even one of my best friends says, I would always put it on my kid first. And I said, you would not be alive. You would literally be passed out on top of that kid because you don't have the oxygen, and that you're fluffing around with them and they don't have the oxygen and you're on top of them.
Yeah. And both of them are going to be left.
That's it. And how are you gonna survive?
I found that especially this technique about self-care is so important, especially for people who are focusing on naturally a giver. They tend to give too much to other people and doesn't really have any boundary, to the point that they are giving way too much of themselves and then got nothing to themselves. And then after that, they feel a little bit of resentment because how come the other person doesn't really treat them the way I'm treating them? But that's, again, personal choice, right? So what I usually do is I tend to give people the little bit of reminder, setting up the right boundary. Sometimes taking care of yourself is more important than taking care of other people. So give yourself and then fill yourself up to the fullness so that you are going to be able to give.
That is a perfect analogy. You can't tip from an empty cup. But what if your cup was overflowing?
Yeah.
Then you have more energy to give more.
Yeah. I think that even last weekend, I was having a conversation with my partner, and he was saying to me that he was so tired because the last few months he had been running around, and he runs a very successful practice. So his time at the practice is, of course, giving to his patients. And it is so great to see that he can heal so many people. But at the same time, if you don't really give yourself enough, all of a sudden you just feel like you are so empty. So he was asking me that, is there anything I would like to do during weekends? And I said, well, yes, I would like you to go out and then enjoy your own time.
Beautiful. That's exactly right. Because he needs to refill his cup because he's constantly giving. And at the start, it might have been overflowing, but if he's had a couple of busy weeks, I know you guys have been doing lots of little things in between, not just work, that the cup's just empty for a little bit and he needs to go and refill it. Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And also one of the things that I also remind to my friends, especially someone who is working in financial services, because I know that how busy they are. And I just said to them that whenever you have time, make sure that you are going to go to the nature, because we got the Mother Nature who is going to give us all the energy. So if you are going to have a nice river walk in the city, or like you are in Bunbury, not far away from Perth, and we also have a lot of beautiful things around us, just go out and then just enjoy the moment. That probably is going to be the best way for us to do as a self-care.
Yeah, hugging a tree is awesome.
Yeah.
Find a tree to hug. If you're in the city, you can't get to the beach to put your beautiful feet in the water. If you can't get to a river, hug a tree. Find a tree and hug it.
Yeah. I love those 4 tips so far. But before we get into the recording, I remember you actually shared with me a really awesome story. So give us a little bit of stories of what you have told and also helped your clients about these 4 tips then.
Yeah, beautiful. I had a lady who came to me earlier this year and she was in real stress. She was really stressed. She thought she was nearly going to go to the doctor and get anxiety pills. She was so stressed. We unpacked a lot of that stress for her, and a lot of it was financial stress. She was worried. They had made some risky decisions about 4 or 5 years ago, and she felt like she was never going to be able to buy a house. And her kids were getting a bit older, and the rental with COVID and all these other things. So we unpacked a lot of the financial stress and got to the really root cause of that. And then we sort of said, okay, well, let's work on what we can control instead of what we can't control. So we worked on manifesting what she actually wanted. If you could have a house in the next year, let's say by Christmas, what would it look like and where would it be? I don't know, she said. I don't know. I said, oh, wow. Well, if you don't know, how are you going to be able to get it?
True.
And so we started working on that. We started working on what suburb, what are her key things. She wanted her kids to walk to high school because one of them was going to high school next year.
Yeah.
She didn't want a fancy thing. She just wanted 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, affordable, so not $1 million mansion yet is the problem yet.
Yes,
but she thought that she wouldn't even get, she thought that they wouldn't be able to get a finance, or she had no savings. So she didn't even have a deposit. So we manifested and combining astrology, the time of the moons, the time of what's going on in the sky, to be working on these things, to be saving. They ended up getting a really good tax return. They actually went to someone like you and said, I need a credit check and I need to find out what's going on and how do I do this? It cost her about, I think, $1,000 or something, and she got the one thing off her record that she was worried about. And on Monday, I'm so happy for her to say she actually put an offer in a house and she got it. And it's a 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 350 metres away from the school that the kids are going to, in the neighbourhood that she wants to do, on a corner block, like all the things those extra things. She got all of it because she was open and she was willing to trust the universe.
Oh my God, that is such an amazing story. And I think that one of the things is, of course, she is putting all the work done herself. So she's not just sitting over there and then blindly waiting for something happening. But one of the things I love you saying is she actually visualized what she wants. A lot of times we are talking to people that if you don't even have a goal, if you don't even know what you are doing, how are you going to be sure that that's the right direction for you? So I love the way that you guide her to think about her life in that way, and at the same time also manifest what she is planning to have. So beautiful.
Yeah. And we use things like Mercury retrograde, where I was talking about that before, when everything's RE. Review. Go to somewhere and review your financial status. Do that in Mercury retrograde. Don't look for a house in Mercury retrograde because you're not allowed to sign contracts, because it'll have, the plumbing will be shot or the roof will cave in or something like that. So, do that in that period of the time. And then now that we're in green period, I call it, the green period of the year until Venus goes retrograde. So we've got all our money goals are right now, right here, the best ever. She got this big, beautiful house with a music room that's already soundproof for her son, and everything. More than she dreamed, better than she thought.
Wow. I'm so happy for her, but at the same time I also think that lots of people actually can utilize all of the tips that we just shared today, and also make sure that we know how to utilize the energy around that rather than against that. So I think that one of the things Kelly and I actually is planning for the next series is how are you going to utilize your energies to bring the financial abundance to you. So
how to survive and thrive.
Yeah, definitely. So if I'm going to wrap up with what we discussed today, which is amazing, is we need to make sure that those 4 tips that we discussed today, one is the sleep, And then we have to make sure that we're going to put the mindfulness in place, doing the meditation, and then make sure that we are continue having the 4-4-4 breathing, and then setting a right boundary for the self-care. When we are going to have ourselves in the fullness, and then we are going to be able to give other people. So that will be probably my summary for that. What will be your key takeaway, Kelly?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. If we start there on those 4 tips, you'll then be able to open some space up to figuring out what you actually want and how to go about it.
Yeah, lovely. So today we talk about the 4 ways to improve your financial anxiety and also focus on your money wellness. Next time, what we're going to talk about is the 5-4-5: meditation, gratitude, forgiveness, lesson and learn, and let go and healing, which is a really, really rich conversation that I'm so looking forward to having this conversation with Kelly. So if you like what we share and think that someone may benefit from the content, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And if you'd like to book a complimentary consultation about your money DNA, or you would like to have the meditation tips, or having some consultation about what Kelly is doing, the link and the contact detail will be captured down below. And if you have any questions or feedback, please also leave it at the comment section below, and then we'll come back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for joining us today, and please keep financially fit and healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye.